Protocol observed. I recognize the presence of the judge and the House at large, plus my fellow speakers. Well, the resolution says that the House believes that the school uniforms are direct equivalent to the scholars. So when we go to the definition of uniform, it refers to the attires that bear the school's brand. And then when we go to the word infringement, means disrespect. So this is trying to mean that uniforms are disrespect to the scholars. Well, as a negator, to me, as an farmer, I'm trying to mean that my points that
thank you, the judge. My opponent said and research. The resolution says that this House believes that school uniform is a direct disrespect to the scholars' respect, and we believe that it is really a disrespect. And what do we mean by a school uniform? A school uniform, this is the attire that contains a school badge. We believe that wearing school uniforms limits the fashion and design of our students. Let me refer this to Muslim schools. I might be a girl and I'm not a person and I dislike wearing tall skirts. I'm a person who likes to wear short skirts. That school is going to limit me from wearing what I want. Like these days, it's very sunny. It's going to reach a condition when I need to wear my vest, I move. But because I have to put on a school uniform, it means that I'm going to suffer with my hotness. Wearing school uniform, like, let me pose this as a question. There is no school that is trying to favor the cultural background. There is no school that is tending to say that, let me call them kanzus, that are our uniforms. You all tend to put you put coats, trousers, short skirts, but you're forgetting the design of the clothing of the old people. This also to scholar social gaps doesn't care. Wearing school uniform sometimes doesn't care about the size and the likes of the student that he or she wants. There are some schools, they always say that whenever they give you a skirt, no big, no small, don't tamper with it. There are some boys, they give them trousers that are extremely large, but because you're already small, you're thin, they are giving you a big stuff, they don't want you to tamper with it. So I don't see the use of a uniform. I myself, I know what I wear and it makes me smart. What do you understand by the word smart? Being smart is you wearing something that you feel comfortable with. Promotes equality. This thing of wearing uniform doesn't promote equality, because you as a person have your mindset of wearing what you want. Some people wear hijabs, some people wear patras. So you telling me to wear a uniform, yet I'm used to wearing patra, you don't really make me feel that I'm equal to someone that is that side wearing, like in US, they do wear what they want. Sometimes, though the uniform is there, but they at least try to bring out that. Thank you, the chair. Thank you, the judge.
Good evening, coaches. Allow me to cross-examine you. Good evening, good evening. You look very smart today.
Thanks.
Do you believe it?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Do you believe it?
Yes, I do.
I think it's probably because of the school uniform. Today we're talking about human rights. Give me 3 rights that are infringed when you wear your school uniform and you look very smart. Briefly tell me. You don't know. You don't know. Which of these, again I ask you, which rights are infringed when you wear a school uniform? No answer.
No, that damages my right because you have not favored
Thank you very
what
much.
I
Those
want
are not
to wear.
human rights. Do you have a problem with school symbols?
And some of them.
You have a problem with school symbols. Are your school uniforms similar to the normal clothes people wear?
Not really.
Yes or no? They're not similar. Do you want to wear kanzus or gomeses for school?
Yeah,
what you want
because
to
I'm
wear?
a Muganda and I have to represent my culture.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Dear Judge, to the domestic bodies and the August House at large, good afternoon to you all. Well, we are faced with this very interesting motion that dictates this House believes that school uniforms are a direct infringement of scholars' rights. Well, we are faced by team affirmatives. First of all, dear Judge, the team affirmative, the first affirmative, has failed to even come and state for us the resolution. Well, she's saying this House believes that school uniforms are she didn't state the resolution. She said that they are a direct violation of scholars' rights, but definitely she didn't state the resolution. That shows disorganization in her team, dear Judge. And our third speaker cross-examined the first affirmer. She was asked if she was smart, and she definitely said yes. Why? She's putting on a school uniform. She's not putting on anything else. And they asked her for the rights that are infringed. That because our resolution states that this House believes that school uniforms are a direct infringement of scholars' rights. So they are infringement of scholars' rights. It's a burden of the team affirmative to come and state for us the rights that the school uniforms are infringing on. But I've not heard it in her speech. She was asked, she did give an example of the rights. And they asked whether she has a problem with the school symbols, and she definitely doesn't have. But dear panel, I feel the affirmers have not done a good job explaining to us the key terms in this motion. So I would like to enlighten the August House at large on the key terms of our motion. We have the school uniforms. School uniforms are official wear worn by people at school bearing school brand. School brand doesn't only mean the badge, it can also mean the school vision, as it's in some people's uniforms. And dear Judge, another word that has to be defined in a motion is direct infringement. When I talk of direct infringement, some people might not understand. So it was the work of the farmers to come and enlighten us on it. So when I say direct infringement, I mean it's like a direct violation, something that is affecting you directly. And scholars' rights, these are the rights of the people going to school. So dear ladies and gentlemen, the affirmers, they failed to define for us the term that have taken the burden and have defined it. So the first affirmer came and said that the school uniforms don't favor cultural background. But dear Judge, really, we are here to study. Uniforms are designed for our best interest. They have our moral values at heart. Remember, if we were given to put on uniforms at our own will, what would other people put on? She was talking about patriots. She wants to come with that patriots to school. Look at that. What is it portraying? For us, the school uniforms that are trying to build us morally. Look at the way you're dressed. It's a moral way. And by the way, do you know that these events you're holding, the NDC debates, they only allow students to come in school uniform. You come with your non-uniform, you are not allowed to attend. Do you know that? I bet you don't know it, but I've told you. So, dear panel, ladies and gentlemen, we as the negative, would like to enlighten you on the importance of school uniform. First of all, uniforms promote easy identification. Look at us right now. I can identify you as members of Buloba Royal College because of your uniform. But if you don't have your uniform, how will I identify you? Take for instance, you're going back home, God forbid, your bus gets an accident. How will they know that you are the ones? How will we know? It's because of your school uniform that we identify that. If something has happened to you, they've stolen from you, we will know that you are the person being affected because of your uniform. Uniform promotes security. We are putting on uniform right now. Assuming we have things to break inside this place. you are in your school uniform, they'll know you are a student, not part of their field. So it's kind of security in your place. And the first speaker also came and said something on equality. Uniforms don't promote equality. But dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to encourage that uniforms promote equality. We at school, we come from different backgrounds. We have people coming from rich families, poor families. I've come from a poor family and a person from a rich family. We are all putting on the same thing. It creates a sense of equality. Because if you dress up anyhow, I will put on my pompous coat, you will put on your rags, and definitely it will show inequality. Uniforms also promote morality. That's the basics. Schools are building moral values in us. When you put in our uniforms, they are not so bad. They are not bad actually. They are morally, culturally allowed, religiously allowed, and socially allowed. And dear ladies, I would like to, dear ladies and gentlemen, the first farmer also said, being smart is about putting on what you want. As I raise my case, I would like to say uniforms don't infringe on our rights in any way. Thank you very much. I raise my case. I'm ready for my cross-examination.
Thank you. You say, yeah, right, you asked me if I'm wearing a school uniform, I'm smart. That's why I told you, being smart, it is defined as you wearing something and you feel comfortable. When I wear my sharia or my hijab and I come to school, I feel comfortable with that. No, I'm not wearing this because I don't need this. You're telling me to be identified. Don't you talk? Sign languages are there for those people who can't talk. When I ask you, like, let me pose a question. Which school are you from?
I'm from number 4.
I haven't seen your badge and I don't know the school that I'm debating with, but you have told me. So I don't need the reason as to why I identify you by your uniform.
What's your question?
Yes?
You're supposed to ask me a question, you're supposed to examine me. I don't know what you're asking.
I told you
You're
that.
supposed to ask me questions.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, the chair, the two sides, and the house at large. The first negator stated that the uniforms promote equality. I thereby say no, because they promote what you call physical equality, not the emotional equality. You're from a rich family, of course. They give you everything you need. They give you the money you want. They pay for you the school uniform, whatever so-called. But me, from a poor family, I get that uniform on a loan. And that loan is about 2 to 50, and it's very expensive. So that drives me back to the point of cost. These uniforms are very expensive. Not that every family is going to afford the uniforms, because first of all, they're expensive. And secondly, if you buy it, you have to maintain it. They're very difficult to maintain. You have to make sure that every time you're looking smart, what and so on. But these uniforms, if they are removed, the kids will be able to feel and wear things that they feel they're comfortable in. What the definition of smartness is wearing something that makes you feel comfortable. Yes, I can wear this and you see that I'm smart, but inside, deep in me, I'm not feeling comfortable. Just because I'm wearing this and the outside the weather is hot and I'm putting, or I have to put on this because it's a mask and it's making me feel uncomfortable. That means these uniforms are like nonsense. They don't have to be existing in schools. You can identify me when you're just asking me, what school are you from? I'm from Global Royal College. Of course you know that there I have given you the information just by talking to me. Also, the first affirmative speaker said that these uniforms, they do not cater for the culture backgrounds. Yes, of course they don't. When I am a Munyarwanda, she's a Muganda, you're anyone from a culture you don't know or I don't know, you're going to see that you're going to dress up in a very good in a very way that all of you have to dress up the same thing. And you feel like this is really not good. I don't like to dress like this. And it's a must because it's from the administrators. It's made out of the administrators' choices.
So this drives me back to the point that it does not really promote the cultures of these children. So they're misunderstood and they're mistreated just because they are this. Okay, let's say that it can even promote mental disorders. You can find a child really feeling sick just because of every time wearing a school uniform or a coat. Or is my case.
Thank you very much, dear judge. Allow me to go straight to my cross-examination. Good afternoon, dear lady. Well, do you believe that people can never be equal in this world? Yes or no? Thank you, she said yes, but please make your voice kind of loud. Do you know that uniforms have our moral values at their best heart?
Pardon?
Do you know that uniforms have moral values our moral values at their best heart? Do you know that?
No.
You don't know that. Please define for me smartness.
Smartness is wearing something that makes you feel comfortable.
Something that makes you feel comfortable. I can put on my boxers, I'm comfortable, I'm smart, you're ladies and gentlemen. Really no. Give examples of scholars' rights that are infringed on by putting on uniform.
Right of speech.
Right of speech. How does speaking involve your uniform? Thank you very much.
No.
Do you know that we are in the 21st century and culture is actually fading?
Sorry?
Do you know that we are in the 21st century and culture is actually fading away?
It is not fading away.
Do you know yes or no? It's either yes or no.
No.
By the fact that our parents are able to pay fees, don't you think they can also afford the uniforms? By the fact that they're able to pay fees in the school we are going to, do you think they're able to
Not
afford?
all of them can afford the uniform.
Why do you take your child to a place you can't afford? Pano, I rest my case.
Ladies and gentlemen, they talked about equality. The Basoga want to come and put on Kansas. The Banyankole want to come and put on what they have. The Luo put on what they have. Ladies and gentlemen, are we going to have class time for expressing our cultures? We're all putting on what we want, ladies and gentlemen. This day we are shifting. We're putting on this, we're putting on that, ladies and gentlemen. Where shall we learn? We're coming for fashion. They express fashion. How can you relate fashion and the right? Looks like they made up a new law that talks about fashion. They say it limits their fashion. A school-going student are focusing on fashion, ladies and gentlemen. Which right is that? They failed to come and tell us which right. How is it directly affecting our right? Which right, ladies and gentlemen? Which right? They talked about, a team of farmers came and told us that wearing uniform deals with, affects your right of speech. I would like them to expand on that. Right of speech and uniform, because uniforms are actually visual expressions of where you're studying from. This is something that you're going to see, and we said identification, ladies and gentlemen. Identification in the sense that I can see from afar without asking you and know that you are from Budova College, ladies and gentlemen, for example. So in that case, we are trying to identify you without asking you, ladies and gentlemen, because we need to identify you, ladies and gentlemen. We are saving you from issues like, in the case of wearing appropriate uniforms, we are saving you from cases like rape. You want to put on patras, you want to be defiled, ladies and gentlemen, like young ladies, you want to be defiled. Can you imagine a patra? We talked about equality, ladies and gentlemen. Equality in the sense that the Banyankole, the Baganda, the Luo are all going to come and put on the same uniform. This is equality enough, ladies and gentlemen, because some cultures may have attires that look better than others. We are not equal, ladies and gentlemen. So in the uniform, we are going to come up and we are equal. We are coming to class and we are equal. Present ourselves as students, ladies and gentlemen. Like you are. I don't know your cultures, but you're all students. You're equal. With that, I'd like to rest my case.
We talked about morals. What do you understand by the term morals?
Talking of morals, good evening. Morals are appropriate behavior that you should output in community, like I've done. I've greeted you.
Thank you.
I believe I'm moral upright.
Where do you learn the morals from?
I learned the morals from school, from home, from community, and my school teaches me morals
Can
by
you
the way I'm
complete for
dressed.
me this? Charity begins at?
Charity begins at home, but we also find home at school, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. These things you can afford. This question would first go to the negators. He said that is it a problem for your mother to take you to a place that they do not afford? Is it a problem or is it bad for you to be poor? Is it a crime for someone being a poor lady or a woman? And regardless of that, you are forgetting that before your dad or mom becoming what he is, he was poor. You'll say that you have to wear the uniform. Honorable, like misters. My mom, let me say, I know someone's mom can't afford the uniform. School fees is a problem. She doesn't have, okay, you might tell me there are government schools, but she can't even afford that small amount of money for school fees. And then she pays the school uniform. Yet she already bought me some stuff that I can wear so that I come to school. And he said morals. Do you know that everybody comes from different places? You might find someone wearing a short skirt and you say, yeah, she doesn't have morals. And you find a hazard when you can't even allow what comes out of her mouth. So never you judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what is inside it. First approach it, see what is inside, and then you start to speak what you want to speak. You said something being appropriate to my body. Not everybody that has my size. You don't have the size that I have. She doesn't have the size that I have. I might be lucky enough that when I went to the office to get the uniform, I found that when it's just fitting me because of my body. So you might find that Kathy, boy, old girl, she went to the office, I need the uniform. And then you find out when you have nothing to wear. And you also say that, the identification. When you stand there, can you identify my school? You can't. So please, that point of identification, don't try to exaggerate it that you have to see my badge so that you identify me. When I'm not wearing a school uniform and you want to speak to me, you see, yeah, my aid is for a school going child. Still, you will ask me, which school are you coming from? So, should I be putting my uniform every time because of identification? Thank you.
The two antagonistic bodies, the audience. Good evening. I'm Alvin Timothy Wavamuno, and Midango College. Briefly accept me to remind you or remind this house about the motion of today. This house believes that school uniforms are a direct infringement on scholars' rights. Our house clearly states there is no right infringed when someone dresses in uniform. They come here with so many arguments. They talk about uniforms limiting students. Some of them are short, some want shorts, others want long ones. But then what you are fronting for is equality and not morals. When you're in school, the morals have to be kept. That's what our first and second speaker have been trying to emphasize. You say they neglect culture. Culture, come on. I'm a Muganda, someone is a Musoga, my teammate is from Lira. There's no way you're going to make us dress in one solid cultural wear. So the point of cultural wear is now baseless, and that make much sense when it comes to an institution of school. Then discomfort. Come on, discomfort. You're saying size, shabby. You're saying, but this discomfort, as a second speaker states, it can save you from rape. Women are raped. You want to be comfortable in a short skirt, you may be raped. Come on. This is not a point. This is baseless. I know we're arguing about discomfort. Then you talk about expensive. There's nothing in this world that is free. A person who cannot afford $1 a day is a person who is poor. And I think that person can go to school. And that's what you're saying. There's nothing that is for free. Even the clothes you want to wear at your home clothes are not what? Are not free. So everything has to be afforded. So expense, it can be built. Some of our school uniform are paid on school fees. When you talk about maintenance, you have to be smart. The second speaker inside talks about maintenance. And the second speaker inside rebuts. Our second speaker rebuts us the point that Maintenance. You know, every time you have to wash and you have to look smart, it's mandatory to look smart. So that is also, I think we're rebating the negative side makes no point here. We talk about the size, we bring in the measurements. Some schools do measurements, and that's what is being done in most schools. They measure you. Then fashion. Fashion is very not reasonable. Talk about, this is an institution, you're talking about fashion. All you need is to look like a student. Fashion comes in with your other things. You don't have to have fancy things for school. Then equality. Equality takes me back to the limitation of students. You want short skirts, or you want baganda to wear, culture wear. So we're promoting equality by having one standard look. I want to emphasize on a point of schools. You know, schools. These are schools that were brought, these are formal institutions that were brought by foreigners, and they had their culture wear. We're following their curriculum. So we have to follow what was put in place. Then identification. You say you want to be asked about a school. We tell you we have symbols, and you don't have to talk about it to identify it. I want to conclude by saying, all in all, with all these points given and our rebuttals, there is no right that is infringed when someone is dressed in school uniform. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case.
Guys, this is what happens. In a Kalipopa format, it indicates there is that provision which explains to people that in case of one person feels sick on a team, he or she has a right to go away. In case of a debate when it hasn't started, like this debate, you can bring in another team. But once a person steps on the platform and starts debating and says he or she is not feeling well, you are not supposed to bring in another teammate. You are penalized. So what we do, to be honest, it provides to you a safer side to save your team. There is what we call whipping. Whipping, it gives an opportunity to you so that it can secure your team. In other years, they used to penalize. If someone feels sick, they say, no, we are not going to cater for that max. But now it was resolved that a person from this team or from that team where a person is not feeling well, one person will play his or her role, and it will not affect any infringement or any damage to them. They will just give them their marks accordingly to how that bet is supposed to move on smoothly. With that, I wish you the best. This is a silent round. I'm not saying anything on that bet. I wanted to make the clarity on whipping where a person is not well. I wish you all the best.